Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Lorraine and welcome to my channel. Now just before I dive in there and pull your cards for today, I'd just like to say I am an experienced and professional, holistic and spiritual counsellor and mentor, and I offer 100% money back guarantee for image readings, tarot readings, also the programs, as well as spiritual and holistic counselling and mentoring, plus advice to help you with union with self and union with your person, and also astrology charts. Now let's dive in there. The information is in the description box below this video. Alright, so let's dive in there, Virgo, and let's see what messages the cards have for you, for both you and your person's love journey thus far, and also let's see what messages the cards have for you about your person. Okay, so let's go. Okay. Wow. Oh yeah, okay. So you were coming in with judgment here, guys, and you were also coming in with the death card here in your reading. It's positive here, guys, to be quite honest here, because what it talks about there in your reading for both you and your person is that you're well aware here of what needs to be changed. A lot of changes are happening at this point in time here, guys. Now when you're coming in with the death card, you're actually coming in with Pluto. Alright guys, Scorpio here. And Pluto is actually in your 6th house at this time, Virgo. Alright, you're also coming in with judgment. I've got judgment down for yourself here. See, Uranus is actually in your 9th house here. Okay, Virgo, let's have a look at this here in your reading. It comes in as, oh, I thought it was this way. I thought things were this way. I thought it was meant to be this way. That's where the changes are coming in. You're coming in with light bulb moments here. You're coming in with connecting the dots here in your reading, because that, but what it's saying here with those connecting the dots, those light bulb moments here, it's actually for you and your person creating the changes that you were wanting. That's what it's talking about with the death card and transformation here. It's coming in as here. Well, there is that drive not to go backwards here, guys. There is that drive to say to yourself, well, it's over. That past, I'm not that person anymore, is what it's saying, because it's coming in as, well, I know why I ended that out. There could be things happening within both you and your person's environment that's bringing about that awareness here, guys. Yeah. And what it can also talk about here in your reading is that knowing for both you and your person that pattern and habit here is, that's it. I'm not doing it anymore. That's what it's talking about here in your reading. But what it also talks about here is that noticing the changes from within with oneself here by, well, I don't know if it's a positive, if that's a positive thing here, guys, by comparing it to those that are around you and noticing why, or actually knowing why here. There's that knowing that that was the best move. That's what it's also talking about here in your reading. Yeah. Because a new cycle, what it talks about here, new cycle, well, it's almost coming in as the end to a past cycle is ending here. A cycle is ending is what it talks about. And what it's saying there in your reading, it's kind of juggling both the pros and the cons. Here, guys, what worked, what didn't work here with the judgment and the death card. here in your reading. Yeah. And in a way, it is creating, well, it is creating positive movement forward here in your reading. See, in terms of the transformation card coming in, what it's talking about there, Virgo, is it's coming in as it's just about time to rebirth here, to re-establish yourself is what it's talking about here. New networks, it's coming in that way. For both you and your person, if you haven't started it already, here, guys. See, with that judgment card coming in, of course, it can talk about resentment. It can also talk about judgment or blame, reacting. But that way of doing things, that way of thinking, feeling, and those kind of behaviors here, guys, that's what's ending here. No longer looking at situations that way. And there is an element here of being responsible and accountable here, guys. Yeah. It comes in as you're ready, in a sense here, guys, with both those cards coming out here on the board. Yeah. All right, let's go, guys. Let's see what else, what other messages the cards have for you at this point in time about both you and your person here. Okay, so you were coming in with the Five of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, and you also have Temperance here in your reading. All right. It does come in as behavior here for both you and your person, because you're talking with the Pentacles on the board. What it talks about there in your reading, it's coming in as your appearance, most definitely here. Okay, I just want to get one thing here, guys. There's a sense of maturity happening here, Virgo. No longer behaving the way, or knowing that, hey, I'm outgrowing. It can kind of come in that way as well. Well, kind of outgrowing this scene, this way in which I behave here in your reading. It does come in as, it does come in by way of interactions, both the Five of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles here, guys. You know, there's a big jump in the middle there. Okay, but what it does tell me here in your reading, it talks about, it's about what you've kind of already created with that Judgment card here in your reading. It's coming in as being ready to make an offer. It is a challenge here, guys, because it's talking about here is that it's really coming back to self here, and how you see yourself here, how your person sees you, how others see you here. Because these cards here are talking about here, guys, what you put out is what you get back in. And you may be realizing that at this point in time, the way in which you've behaved, your behavior here, guys, your attitude, yeah, it's because, like I said, it's the end of a cycle. That's what it's talking about here, with both those cards coming out here, Virgo. And that cycle is all about, that ending is all about, it's like having a look back and reflecting on what's been happening in the past, and why things are the way that they are today. That's how these are coming in here. Now with the Ten of Pentacles, what it talks about there, it comes in as your social group, it comes in as your environment here, your friends and your family, and what makes up that here. Family will always be family, of course, but it also comes in as how you built relationships with people. Like I said, there is that sense of maturity coming in here, wanting to change, because it is coming in as wanting to here, guys, and also knowing that things need to change here. That's what it's also talking about here in your reading. Yeah. And what it can talk about there, Virgo, is knowing that what I've done in my lifetime has given me the outcome it is today. This is why it is that way today. But there is, like I said, there is an opportunity here, guys, and I said it was going to be quite positive here in your reading, to rebirth. That's what it's also talking about here. Here it is, and there is a really good positive element to your reading as well here, guys, because there has been a mind shift, is what it's also talking about here, in the way that you build your relationships with people here. Okay, that's changing here. See, what it can also talk about here in your reading is now's a good time, guys. Now's a good time to make those changes. Change how you do things, change it up here. And if you want to know more, just book an image reading, tarot reading with me, as I'm not just a tarot reader. Alright, guys, if you want to know the difference between the two, the details are in the description box below this video for more information. And then it can lead into counselling and mentoring here, guys. Okay. It's about really knowing what works and what doesn't work here, guys. And that's by way of experiences here. Yeah. Alright, so you were coming in with the Knight of Swords. You also have the Six of Wands, and you're coming in with the Two of Pentacles here. So let me just look at that, 15. Yeah. It is coming in as positive changes here, guys, here in your reading. Potentially here. You do have the Knight of Swords coming in, and so what the Knight of Swords can be talking about here is most definitely your person watching, but you could also be watching here. When you're coming in with the Knight of Swords, I do see the Knight of Swords as a student. So there is a lot of learning involved here, guys, is what I'm getting. That learning is about understanding and gaining knowledge about oneself here. Okay? But that Knight of Swords is coming in as actually the Judgment card as well here in your reading. Now you are coming in with the Six of Wands, the Two of Pentacles here, and it talks about there in your reading having that courage to actually make those changes. Like I said, this is a positive reading, and even with the Death and Transformation card, it's coming in as quite positive here, guys, because the cycle is ending here. And that gives way for new things to begin, in a sense, coming in with the Two of Pentacles. Here in your reading, it comes in as for your person and even yourself. Here it does kind of come in as timing here, guys. Yeah. Yeah. There's an element here in your reading now that that cycle is ended out. So what am I going to do next? What is it? Yeah, that's what it's saying here. So what is my next move? How do I rebuild? It's coming in as a rebuild here, guys. It's really, really quite good, to be quite honest. All right, let's pull a card. When you're coming in with the rebuild, it's coming in as reprogramming, re-establishing here, guys, reaffirming. Here, that's all coming out of the Judgment card. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because with the Judgment card, like it's saying, it's knowing what you've done. Here, it's like that reflection, looking back on what you've done here, gaining knowledge and understanding as to why things are the way that they are today. Here, so that you can transform or transmute here, guys, you know, make those changes here, plant those positive seeds of change. When you take ownership and be accountable here for what you've done, that's what your reading is saying, so that you can create, rebuild, re-establish here yourself, in a sense, is what the Strength card, the Six of Wands and the Two of Pentacles is talking about at this point in time, so that you can create a new beginning for yourself here. And like I said, reach out here, guys. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, people watching. All right, so you're coming in with the Emperor. I think this is your person, the Emperor. It talks about the rebuild here, guys. It talks about re-establishing here when you're coming in with the Emperor guy here in your reading. You are coming in with, I do see it as Aries and Aquarius. You are coming in with the Death card, and I did speak about Pluto at this point in time being in Aquarius here. Let me just look at that for you. So with Aries, Mars, once again, is on the cusp, or it's moving into that cusp here, guys, between Leo and your sign, Virgo, at this point in time here. And so what it's also talking about there in your reading, it's coming in as you are who you are. Be what you say you are here. If you're doing a business, the best way I can explain it here, if you're promoting a business or you're building a business here, then be the business. That's what it's talking about here, coming in with the Emperor card, coming in with Mars here, guys. Yeah, of course, it is talking about here. There's a lot of positive movement forward here for yourself, coming in with the Death card. Now this is both you and your person here. It's reinventing yourself again here in your reading. But you've got to know about yourself here, guys. That's really important. Yeah, we don't want to always reflect back on the past, but you've got to know the past in order to know the now here, guys, so that you can move towards that potential. Remember, it's the potential outcome here in your reading. Yeah. Did I say maturing here? I think it was in this reading. It's also coming in as the way in which you communicate here, guys. That's also coming in. All right. Okay. Right. I'm going to leave it there, Virgo. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your video. Okay, your reading. I appreciate, and I'll catch you later. Bye.